All right, let's talk about something that affects millions of men, but, is often kept behind closed doors: erectile health. We're going to dig into the surprisingly direct scientific link between the food you eat and, well, your performance. And just to be clear, this isn't about some miracle pill, it's about actually understanding how your body works.
You see this quote? This right here is why we're having this conversation. It completely reframes the whole issue. Erectile dysfunction, or ED, isn't just about your sex life. It's a critical, flashing red light, an early warning sign for your heart and your entire vascular system. Seriously, think of it like your body's check engine light just flicked on. And get this? That check engine light gives you a pretty big head start. The data is clear. Symptomatic ED often shows up a full 3 to 5 years before a major cardiovascular event, like a heart attack or a stroke, ever happens. That is an absolutely crucial window of opportunity to make some real changes.
So you might be asking, why is it such a good early warning? Well, it's really just simple physics. The arteries supplying blood down there are tiny. We're talking 1 to 2 millimeters, while the ones in your heart are bigger, about 3 to 4. So when plaque starts building up and making things narrow, where do you think the traffic jam happens first? In the smallest pipes. It's the exact same disease process, just showing up in a different neighborhood first.
Okay, so to really understand how your diet fits into all this, we need to do a super quick biology lesson. It all boils down to one simple thing: healthy blood flow. So let's break down exactly what's supposed to happen on a molecular level.
So the undisputed star of this entire show is a little molecule called nitric oxide, or NO for short. Its main job is to be a messenger, telling the smooth muscles inside your arteries to just relax. It's basically the molecule that shouts, "Okay, open the floodgates," for your entire circulatory system. Look, this is how simple the process is when everything is working like it should. Your brain sends a signal, that signal triggers nitric oxide to be released, the arteries get the message and relax, and then blood rushes in, builds pressure, and that's it. The whole thing hinges on steps 2 and 3. If that nitric oxide isn't there to do its job, the whole system just grinds to a halt.
And this is exactly where the problem usually starts. See, the delicate inner lining of all your blood vessels is called the endothelium. When that lining gets damaged by things like high cholesterol, high blood sugar, smoking, you name it, it just can't produce enough nitric oxide anymore. That condition is called endothelial dysfunction, and it is the absolute root cause of most erection issues that are tied to blood flow.
Okay, enough with the problem, right? Let's talk about the solutions. Now we're going to look at specific foods that actively help your endothelium and boost that all-important nitric oxide. This is the good stuff, the actionable part of the story. Now this is some powerful data from a huge study. It shows that guys who ate the most foods rich in something called flavonoids had a significant drop in their risk of developing ED. We're talking a 9 to 11% lower risk just from compounds you find in everyday plant foods. I mean, that's not a small number when you think about it on a population level.
So where do you find these powerhouse flavonoids? Well, here you go. This is a great list of some of the best sources. Blueberries and citrus fruits, like oranges and grapefruits, are especially fantastic. These foods are just packed with the exact compounds, anthocyanins and flavonoids, that showed the biggest benefit in that study we just saw.
Now, if you want to take a direct highway to boosting nitric oxide, look no further than these veggies. Your body has this brilliant little system where it takes the nitrates in these plants and converts them into nitric oxide. It's amazing! So eating things like spinach, rocket, also called arugula, and beetroot is like sending a shipment of raw fuel directly to your body's nitric oxide factory.
Okay, here's a little pro tip from the world of biochemistry. A lot of people talk about the amino acid L-arginine, but it turns out its cousin, L-citrulline, is actually way more effective at boosting nitric oxide. Why? Well, because it cleverly bypasses a big breakdown process in your liver that L-arginine has to go through. That means more of it actually gets to where it needs to go. And the absolute best food source? Watermelon. So, here's a bit of a broader shopping list for those key amino acids. By making sure you're getting these whole foods, from watermelon to nuts and seeds, into your diet regularly, you're giving your body a steady supply of the building blocks it needs for great vascular health. Now, let's shift gears for just a second, because we can't forget the hormonal side of this whole equation. Blood flow is the mechanics, right? But desire, libido, that's hormonal. And zinc is an absolutely critical mineral for producing testosterone, which is the primary hormone driving male sex drive. And this, right here, is exactly why oysters have that centuries-old reputation as an aphrodisiac. It's not magic, It's science. They have more zinc per serving than any other food on the planet. But hey, if oysters aren't your thing, other shellfish like mussels, crab, and lobster are also fantastic sources to help keep your hormone levels in a good place. So, how do you put all of this together without driving yourself crazy? The Mediterranean diet. Seriously, it's not a fad. It's a way of eating that's been proven over and over again to be incredible for heart health. And you can see why. It naturally includes almost all of the amazing food groups we've just talked about. You've got your flavonoids, your nitrates, your healthy fats, your lean proteins. It's the whole package.
Now, for every hero in the story, there's got to be a villain, right? It's just as important to know what you should probably take off your plate. Certain foods actively work against your vascular health, basically damaging that delicate endothelial lining and sabotaging your nitric oxide production.
I really like this slide because it just makes it so simple. Every single meal, you're essentially choosing one of two paths for your arteries. You're either picking foods that protect them and promote blood flow, or you're picking foods that fire up inflammation and start laying down the tracks for future blockages. There's really no neutral ground here.
And here, they are the usual suspects. Saturated fats from stuff like fatty red meat and deep-fried foods contribute directly to that artery-clogging plaque. Sugar drives inflammation that just chews up your artery linings. And too much alcohol can mess with your testosterone and harm the whole system. Each one of these is actively undermining all the other good things you're trying to do.
Of course, diet doesn't exist in a bubble. To get the full picture, we have to look at a few other critical lifestyle factors that really work hand in hand with what you're eating. The key word here is synergy. It all works together. Regular exercise doesn't just burn calories. It directly stimulates your body to produce more nitric oxide. In fact, one study showed that combining a high flavonoid diet with regular exercise lowered the risk of ED by a whopping 21%. And it's the same story for managing your weight and, of course, quitting smoking. They all have profound, direct benefits on your vascular health. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've gone through the biology, the foods that help, the foods that hurt, and the lifestyle habits that tie it all together. So what's the one single core message you need to remember from all this? We started out with this very question. And I think after everything we've just covered, the answer is actually incredibly simple and incredibly clear.
This is it. This is the single most important thing to take away from this entire explainer. Your vascular system is one big, interconnected highway. The exact same choices that protect your heart are the exact same choices that protect your sexual health. It's not two different issues, it's one body, one system. So take care of it.